Mike's great, the cast is great, and the animation, we have great directors at Warner Brothers. There's two guys, Ethan Spalding and another guy named Jeff Sergey are the animation directors, and they're great, and they can do that thing that looks like those old cartoons that we all, I think, so no one here's a child, you remember as being, there's something great about it. And then I think this material fits that. Warner Brothers can do it really well. And it fits it because like the way the characters are designed, they don't look like they're trying to be funny. And then I think that ends up being a lot funnier. Because those designs, they look like something from the 70s. They look like the way they would have been done. Hanna-Barbera ran at their studio. And I think it allows us then to do stuff. It's like the sugar on the outside of medicine.
Did you talk about how it was to work with Mike, and did he have some of those animation references in his head?
Yeah, for sure. And he was like, I think he thought this whole thing might be just a disaster, and until he saw the animation. And then it was like a kid in a candy store. And he was I think he just kept thinking he was going to get all funny and be a disaster and embarrassing. And he was like he's going to regret the whole thing. And then when we showed him the animation, he was like, and then he got super into it. And from then on, like he was like, he throws himself into it. And he was always super professional. He comes to the records, and when he acts, like he acts the way you would hope. Your dream is how he would be, because he comes in, he says, this is not my area of expertise, and I just want to do well. So he doesn't approach it like he's a cool athlete who like doesn't want to look foolish and like you better not make fun of me. There's none of that kind of stuff. He's like, he throws himself into it, and then he's very trusting, like that we won't ruin it or make him look like an asshole. And we don't. I mean, he's a super compelling guy, and I think hopefully we get that in there, even though it's 11 minutes long. And cartoon bullshit that you got to circus, but there's a reason why people are fascinated by him, and you can tell. Like if he does those interviews, you see him anywhere. He's in Toronto. It's like you get an interview, and it's like you stop what you're doing and listen. It's just like he's got a fascinating mind. He's a fascinating human being. So.
How did Queensberry actually come to be? I mean, it's such the most abstract concept, and it's one of the few things, like I've heard you been talked about, the character, but not how it came to be an idea.
Probably, like it was like the things that you just, to start, it was all those associations we all have. Like Mike Tyson, boxing, the Marquis of Queensberry invented the rules of boxing, or he endorsed the rules of boxing. He was a Scottish nobleman who was probably the most homophobic person who had Oscar Wilde thrown in jail, which we will do an episode.
Right, I've heard about that.
But then we cast Jim Rash, and Jim Rash plays him like a very flamboyant man.
Oh.
He doesn't do the British accent at all.
Oh,
There's
okay.
no British accent.
And he's almost foppish, even.
Yeah, very. I would take out almost.
Hugh Davidson, who's the head writer and producer, he and I and Jim Rash, who plays Marcus, we're all writer-performers at the Groundlings Theater in Los Angeles, which is an improv comedy troupe. And then Hugh and I most recently have been working at Warner Brothers doing the Looney Tunes show, and I did a bunch of voices on Mad, which is an animated show for Cartoon Network. And so when this project came about, they asked me if I would play the voice of young He, and I was thrilled to. Yeah.
And talk about interacting with Mike.
Or
not.
No,
you're doing the voice, but you get a chance to interact with him? Or?
My interactions with him, we've done maybe one or two records together, and then I've been to Comic-Con with him and press things. He's delightful. I mean, he's absolutely charming and sweet and very honest and real, and I think that all comes across in the show.
Yeah, and you never worry about anybody being attacked.
I was just saying, the one thing that comes out of my mouth when I watch playbacks of animatics or, when the footage is coming back is I watch it and I just think he is so cute, which is not a word
you associate with Mike Tyson.
But it's a side of him it's an actual side of him. He's very sweet and gracious, and you do see that in the show, and he's funny. He's really, really funny.
Were you surprised at the reaction you guys got at San Diego last year?
Well, I was not surprised because you just have to let Mike take the stage, and everything's going to be great. And then you just sit back and let him go.
Yeah, because I was
he's
there for that, and
incredible.
it was something to be seen.
I mean, it really was. I had to remember that I was up there because I just listened to him, and I could listen to him forever. And then Norm hasn't done any of this stuff, but he's another one who, at these voice records that should last about an hour, Norm starts talking, and then 4 hours later, you're like, oh, he's so funny. You can listen to anything he has to say. So it's a good group.
Do you find anything awkward in actually voicing your character at all?
I don't, because I'm lucky enough that I'm using my own voice,
Right.
and I'm just trying to give the most real performance that I can, because Mike's performance is very real, and all the performances I think are grounded in reality, which because the show itself is so crazy and wacky, and the situations that we're in are so crazy, to have grounded vocal performances I think actually really helps.
When you record, is it strictly off the script, or do you have a little bit of room to improvise some things?
We stick to the script, but because Norm and Jim and I are all in the booth together, and Norm is so funny and Jim is so funny, that of course, if there's anything they want to add or tweak, it always enhances the show. So, and because we've known Jim for so long, I write on some of the episodes. We know how to write for them, and then the more we know Norm and the more we get to know Mike, it's easier to write in their wheelhouse.
How far ahead are you projecting?
Are we what?
How many episodes? How far?
Oh, let's see. We've done. How many are in like a season?
Usually for for Adult Swim, it's like anywhere between 8 to 14.
Okay, so maybe we've done like 14, and then we're already writing more for the next one.
So
it's already been picked up. Is that?
No, it hasn't.
No, we're just writing so that
Okay.
we have material, because it's animated. There's hardly any time to write to get that stuff shipped off to Korea.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like, thank you. I love thanking you. So it's better for us to just keep writing, and then if they use it,
If you
great.
get to use it, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So do you find like with your background in improv, was the switch over to doing animated voices was it a lot easier, or was it like a big change? And does it make it easier when you're doing reads in a booth?
It's much easier when I'm in a booth with other actors, because coming from the Groundlings, we feed off of each other. So in the beginning, when it was just me in a booth, and then on another day they would record Norm, and then on another day they would record Jim, the performances were coming back, edited, sounding a little stilted. So finally, Hugh changed it up and said, let's get them all in a room together. And instantly, I feel like by the second or third episode when we started doing that, you can hear it in the performances. I certainly prefer it, feeding off of the other actors.
This is hardcore. This is hardcore show related. Was there a pigeon in your coop that reminds you at all of Norm Macdonald's character in any way? Just the style, or just how he.
There's no doubt about that. The pigeon that sometimes you try to fly him, he said, I'm not flying. I'm like, they fly from one side of the roof to the other side. He just won't
So there's
fly.
actually a correlation in your own life to have to deal with that kind of.
Well, listen, pigeons pretty much get the same respiratory system as people, and they're just like people. Some are just lazy. I'm not going to fly. I look beautiful. I'm cool. I'm just not going to fly.
Do they drink it all?
Huh?
Do you ever see one getting drunk?
I never saw one inebriated.